Hello and welcome. My name is Richard Ball. I am the Head of Environment at Corporate Risk Systems, and I would like to personally take this opportunity to welcome you to the full membership of IEMA Associate Certificate in Environmental Management course. The aim of this session is to support you to make the best start at this unique applied learning course. I will talk you through each of the units and part of the syllabus, the assessment and verification process, and what can be used as evidence and what should be included in your reflective report. This presentation supports the Introduction to Learning Assistant document, which will allow you to upload your evidence and reports and gain feedback from your assessor. The course has been developed uniquely by Corporate Risk Systems following the Institute of Environmental Management and Assessment's Associate Certificate in Environmental Management. The syllabus covers a broad range of topics useful to the environmental practitioner, including understanding environmental aspects and impacts, legal elements, use of environmental tools like environmental impact assessment and environmental risk assessment and life cycle analysis, developing a business case and understanding environmental management systems, environmental communication and sustainability. The unique Corporate Risk Systems approach is broken into two parts. The first part is the Associate Certificate in Environmental Management by Applied Learning that will take you from a minimal amount of environmental knowledge to become an associate member of the Institute of Environmental Management and Assessment upon successful completion. And part two of the course takes individuals from associate level up to being the full environmental practitioner by becoming a member of the Institute of Environmental Management and Assessment. The second part is formally assessed by IEMA by external assessment. This is completed by telephone interview and submission of a short paper. In this first section we will look at part one of the course, the Associate Certificate in Environmental Management by Applied Learning. In 2006, Corporate Risk Systems developed a unique approach to the IEMA Associate Certificate. It used its skill and experience in NVQ assessment to look at the IEMA syllabus and consider that the elements within it could be developed and understood by individuals through a learning by doing approach. The learning by doing approach, or applied learning, focuses on researching a topic area and then applying it within your business or sector to help your understanding. Through this approach, delegates find that they are able to fast forward over the areas of understanding they already have, research the areas where they wish to develop, apply it to a familiar case study in their business, delivering benefits for not only themselves but also their organisation. Individuals have also found that by taking this approach, knowledge and retention is increased as they have learnt how to apply the topic in an area that they are familiar. The course has been successfully completed by people not only here in the UK but also in Ireland, Trinidad and Tobago and the Czech Republic, to name but a few. The completion of the course will be based upon the submission of a portfolio. This portfolio will include 6 reflective reports and a range of practical work-based evidence to show your ability to apply the environmental knowledge within your sector. This approach means that there is no online examination for the applied learning approach. So you've now heard all about the course, and hopefully it's something that you're enthusiastic and encouraged to start. But where to begin? Well, we would recommend you start with Unit 1. Review the unit descriptor. Within the Learning Assistance Programme, you'll be able to download each unit and to have a look at the performance criteria of the things you need to be able to do, and the knowledge and understanding of the things that you need to be able to show that you understand. So let's have a look at Unit 1. The first thing that we need to do is identify the evidence and knowledge you already have. This may be very limited, and so therefore you will need to research the areas of knowledge and understanding in more detail. The course handbook, the IEMA Handbook Environmental Management in Organisations, will help you with this. We also have resource areas online in the Learning Assistance area for each unit. You can also do your own research, and this will be credited as part of the feedback that you are given. In the areas you are less familiar with, you need to research those areas and then be able to apply that knowledge in your workplace. You do this by completing the 3 performance criteria. For Unit 1, you will need to conduct a review of the impact of your organisation on the local and global environment. This might look at things like the pollutants it may release, the carbon emissions that it contributes to, the wastes that it creates, and the supply chain that it uses. Coming out of this, you should be able to then create 2 key groups of area of evidence. The first of these is a reflective management report. This is where you will describe what you did to create the work-based evidence, how you researched the information, what sources you used, and then give an explanation of your understanding of each of the knowledge and understanding requirements. For instance, for the carbon cycle, you may talk through each of the sections of the sinks and where, such as the atmosphere, such as the ocean. You can also talk about the effects of climate change upon the wider environment and human habitation. You may also create work-based evidence. An example of this might be the environmental aspect review that you've completed for 14001. This would be ideal evidence for performance criteria 1A. You will then upload your evidence and your reflective report onto the Learning Assistance Programme, ready for your assessor to give you feedback upon. We'll talk through this process in more detail in a few slides' time. The delivery style of applied learning is also unique. It is based upon a distance learning approach, using the latest software programs from City & Guilds Learning Assistant. The advantage of this is it's based on individual mentored learning. Each individual researches the topics where they feel the weakest, to be able to understand the topic's area, to be able to show their knowledge and understanding before applying it in their workplace or their sector. This allows you to meet your own pace, your own learning style. Feedback is given on a one-to-one basis and then is verified through our internal verification system and externally by IEMA as a recognised training provider. The course has been uniquely put together based around IEMA's Certificate in Environmental Management. The 6 units all have 3 performance criteria and a range of knowledge and understanding elements. The course has been put together to guide you through the world of environmental management. This starts with a clear understanding of global environmental issues, covering environmental impacts, pollution, carbon management and adaptation. In Unit 2, we focus on environmental law. Individuals need to gain an understanding of legislation that is applicable to their organisation, how this legislation would then need to be applied to their workplace through implementing management controls, and finally the delegate needs to show an understanding of where legislation is likely to go in the future. In Unit 3, we look at a range of environmental techniques. These include environmental risk assessment, life cycle analysis, environmental aspect review. Individuals are also required to research an environmental impact assessment statement for an area that they are familiar and feed back the impacts. Following this, we look at environmental management systems, focusing not only on 14001 but also on how an individual can develop a business case and focus environmental issues within a business context. Unit 5 looks at environmental communication. Environmental communication includes an analysis of the stakeholders, their needs and pressures that they can put on the organisation, methods of environmental reporting, and the development of environmental performance indicators. The final unit of this module helps the delegate to start to consider themselves as an environmental practitioner, developing a 30-year environmental action plan for their business, thinking about how it could be sustainable over the longer term. This is the ideal action planning activity to help delegates start to think at part 2 of the qualification, which is as a full member of IEMA. Within each unit are a range of knowledge and understanding requirements. These are taken directly from the IEMA syllabus, and as part of the verification process, your report will be checked to confirm that you have covered all of these areas. It's a good idea to make sure that you cover each element highlighted within the list. While sometimes these can be connected together, such as explaining the causes and effects of climate change could clearly be linked to carbon cycles, it is important that each and every section is covered. Your assessor will give you more information on this should you not achieve the standard. To start off with, 1 or 2 paragraphs on each section would help demonstrate your understanding of the particular element. It is important that the explanation and descriptions are your own and not those cut and paste from sources up on websites. One way to do this is to demonstrate how your organisation can affect the particular cycle or impact. For example, describe the main cycles and ecological systems, including carbon, nitrogen and water cycles and phosphorus, could be covered through an outline of how your company contributes to carbon management through burning of fossil fuels or through afforestation projects. This links into the performance criteria 1B and may be linked together. If If you are struggling to understand any of these topics or find out information, contact your assessor for more information. Once you have gathered together all of the information for the knowledge and understanding, the next stage is to actually apply that knowledge within your workplace. Within each unit there are 3 performance criteria. For Unit 1, these are: conduct a review of the impact of your organisation on the local and global environment, describe an organisation's contribution to and impact from climate change, and describe the pollutants arising from an organisation's activities, products or services and their effects on the natural environment. As previously discussed, you may already have evidence covering this, such as a carbon footprint report or an environmental aspect review. If you do not, don't worry, you can include this as additional evidence and start from a beginning to demonstrate your application. A simple guide is: the stronger your evidence, the less you need to write in your reflective report. The weaker your evidence, the more you need to write in your reflective report. For each element, you need to show that you have covered each of the 3 performance criteria, and this will usually be completed by 2 or 3 pieces of evidence and a reflective report. This might sound all a little bit daunting. So at Corporate Risk Systems, we've developed quick start guides for Units 1 and 2. These quick start guides help you through the research, review and reflect and implement stage. The first stage, the research stage, encourages you to look at the IEMA handbook and the listed websites and the CRS risk resources area, and tells you specifically where to look at. You might have the current evidence, like an environmental aspect review for Unit 1, an environmental risk assessment or a carbon management report. Once you have researched the area, as previously mentioned, the next stage is to review and reflect. Review on how you can apply this knowledge to your workplace and reflect of that in your reflective report. You should be able to identify that some of the performance criteria are knowledge and understanding linked together. For example, performance criteria 1B, describe an organisation's contribution to and impact from climate change, will incorporate the knowledge and understanding elements such as reviewing the sources of greenhouse gases from your organisation and outline the impacts of climate change to your organisation, not only in terms of the wider impacts to the environment such as increased flood levels, increase in drought and desertification, but impacts such as increased levels of taxation and increases in fuel pricing. These will all be impacts that you would need to consider as part of this section. Remember, your learning assessor is there to support you if you need it. So what is the assessment process? Well, the starting point is from yourself. Have a look at the unit. Check back yourself. Have you covered all of the performance criteria and all of the knowledge and understanding elements? If you are unsure of this, contact your assessor through the Learning Assistance Programme for more information. Once you've produced your evidence and reflective report, submit it using the Learning Assistance Programme. The assessor will review the evidence against the performance criteria and the knowledge and understanding, and identify whether or not you cover the topic to the required IEMA standard with due consideration of the application for your sector. If it meets the requirements, the assessor will give you feedback through the Learning Assistance Programme and sign off that you've completed that unit. If you do not meet the standard, you will be given feedback precisely on which areas you have achieved and which elements you haven't achieved. You can then review this element and resubmit, or contact your assessor for more information. In order to ensure the quality of the qualification, your portfolio may go through 2 verification processes. The first of these is the CRS verification process. An independent verification assessor will sample your submission through the Learning Assistance Programme to ensure that the assessor is giving you fair and valid judgments. In addition to this, IEMA completes an annual review of CRS's quality management systems to verify that the standards are being completed in line with all other training providers. Through the assessor, internal and external verification processes, you can be assured that your qualification will meet international standards and will continue to have validity to employers and candidates alike. Now we have looked at the assessment process. The final part for us to go through is what can be considered evidence and what should go into your reflective report. The evidence should be your thoughts, your application of how the underpinning knowledge is applied to your business. The focus here is that you demonstrate each of the 3 performance criteria for each of the units in question. This work-based evidence may be audits you have completed, management reports, training presentations, spreadsheets of utility data, business cases and emails that you have put to your managers, or witness statements from them demonstrated how you've complied with the standards. The reflective reports can also be part of your evidence, as these will explain your knowledge, but we'll look more at this on the next slide. What cannot be considered as evidence, though, is work by others. Company reports, environment agency documents, or copying and pasting paragraphs from websites within your report does not demonstrate your knowledge. If you are thinking of using these, reference the site and then explain how that is relevant or how you have used that particular piece of information. For instance, an environment agency document, you may quote a small part and then demonstrate how you've implemented it within your area, or annotated it. Work generally should be less than 2 years. If it is older than this, you should show some review or process of how you kept up to date with this information. For more information on the suggested evidence, please look on the Learning Assistant website, Unit 0.0 Introduction, click View Resources and go into the suggested evidence. Finally, we need to look at the reflective report. This is the document that pulls together all of your evidence and all of your knowledge. It should outline how and why you produced the evidence and an explanation of the underpinning academic concepts linking to the knowledge and understanding requirements. Within the report, you should talk in the first person of how you did a particular activity and then link it in more detail to the broader concepts. It should include a statement that verifies that this is your own work unless otherwise referenced, and these references should be clearly signpost the verifier and the assessor to where you got that information from. Book titles, websites should all be listed within a bibliography reference towards the end of the document. I hope you have enjoyed this introduction to the Associate Certificate in Environmental Management by Applied Learning, and feel that you are making some steps towards the next step in your environmental career. Once you have completed the Associate Certificate, we will support you to become a full member of IEMA. But we believe that the applied approach helps guide you and helps set you up to becoming a well rounded individual with the necessary environmental management and assessment skills that you can positively and proactively help prevent and protect the wider environment. Should you have any questions or queries, please contact me at richard.ball@crsrisk.com or through the Learning Assistance Programme. Thank you for your attention. Here at Corporate Risk Systems, we think the applied learning approach has some real benefits. The first of these benefits is it focuses the environmental knowledge on your organisation's needs. This means that you spend more time on the areas that are relevant to your organisation, developing practical work products that will be of benefit to your organisation. These could include legal registers, environmental audits, environmental performance indicators and action plans. This should hopefully lead to improved environmental performance for your organisation, helping you be more competitive within this ever-changing business world, reduce your legal liabilities and also drive down costs in areas such as waste management, energy management and potential claims and litigation against your organisation. The applied approach also focuses on the minimum disruption and the maximum learning. You can fast forward over the areas that you know about and research those areas that require more detail. The course also develops a range of transferable skills. Communication, researching, auditing and application is all at the heart of the development of this course. In addition to those benefits listed to your organisation, the applied approach has a range of benefits for you. You learn at your own pace, focusing on your strengths, weaknesses and learning style. You learn by doing, not listening, and you can practically apply those academic theories such as a carbon cycle and see the real world link of this. It also will mean that you've proven your competency as well as your knowledge. Other training providers provide systems where you are tested through examination through the MIEMA online examination system. The applied learning approach doesn't require this as you assessed through the portfolio method. And then, on top of that, you will get associate membership to a leading body on environmental issues globally, the Institute of Environmental Management and Assessment, and be able to use the suffix AEMA after your name, subject to paying the appropriate level membership fee.